houses on it anyway, they had to put easements.
That doesn't make sense, does it?
No, because it was never up to the standards, that's why you guys never developed, but you guys okayed the permits for them to build houses on it, they're never up to standards.
Okay, check,
I'm sorry, am I missing something?
Yeah, actually, when it was developed, the tract was approved.
Quiet,
The
quiet,
tract
can't
was
hear.
approved through a certain process for subdivisions. Then, once it was subdivided, it was graded, then each lot then was built on individually. At that point, it was up to the owner at the time buying it to maintain whatever the flood hazard channel was at the time of buying.
Did you guys ever sign off that the flood channel was up to code after it was finished done? Or did you guys just leave that to the homeowner to find out?
When it was first graded back in the early sixties.
Before it was built on?
Yeah.
So after it was built on, you guys never got the stuff to see if developers developed it properly?
No, it was done right the first time.
Before they built on it?
55 years later, they're liable for it, because the dirt.
Because you guys never checked it after it's built on.
That's not acceptable.
No, once it's been built on, it's up to it's prior to it being built, it's whoever owns the land. If the developer held onto the land, then it would be up to him. But if the land was sold off to various buyers prior to development of a house, it's up to that landowner to maintain the channel.
So each one of those, the land was sold off, you're saying, in plots with no development on it. The individual homeowner, didn't they have to take out a permit to build a house on it?
Yeah,
And you guys had to sign off on it?
for the house, yes,
But you guys never bothered to check to see if the flood was done?
because it's private property.
Well, the FHA.
You guys take jurisdiction over our land because you won't check it. And you don't give permission, it's not up to your code. But if it's not up to your code, we're responsible. No, yes, that is what you guys are saying.
Since 1960, is what you're saying. You guys don't know. But now these poor homeowners that own it, that have known it since 1960, it's wrong.
That flood area was fine until people started to deliberately fill it. It was fine, it was maintained, it was fine, before those houses were built, the developer kept it maintained. When you guys came in and paid P8, all that was cleared and getting maintained and everything, so there was all sorts of the dirt around to make the road. And then all of a sudden, a couple of people, 4 houses, built it deliberately, which caused all you guys problems. Because there was silt all built up. When the water ran through there freely, it actually cleared it every winter.
She's correct, it did. Every time it rained, every time we
And
had,
it would pile
we had
up.
pouring rain here in the late 80s, bad, where we couldn't get out of this part of the valley
And
because
then
of
the end of the road, it would fill up and county would take the.
because of the runoff, it was so bad.
Then why would
Okay,
they
so
just
the
do
thing-
what they filled it in, didn't the county come and fix it then before it became a CUP?
Right, I said, we kept complaining, county, that's why I find them all to go.
That's right,
Because
that's what
when
they
they
did
did
to their
complain, being on the other side, knowing this was gonna damage us, complained that these people were filling that flood zones. And that's where I find fault with the county. They should have followed through with our complaints and stopped it before it became this big problem.
So they didn't do that, regardless, Mr. Hernandez is right, let's deal with what needs to be done now, before we get slammed this year. Before these other people lose the rest of the property back there, and it ends up happening what happened in the West End recently. People dying in flash floods. We have to stop that, we have to stop it from happening now.
Call it a
storm
drain, storm zone.
Okay, just out of curiosity, what is the discretionary fund and what is it used for? I guess that goes to Christine.
Discretionary is not, it's used for not private property.
Okay, so this part of our private property belongs to you guys.
That's why we pay taxes on it every year.
No, don't shake your head. Because the discretionary fund, we should, if you guys are gonna charge us, you should be able to use that. And just out of curiosity, I know Antonovich goes from Malibu down to here. And yeah, we are low man on the totem pole. 3/4 of that is voted and we're lumped in. We're tired of it. We are unincorporated and we wanna stay that way and we want a voice.
If we didn't have volunteers from the community stepping out, we would have to tap, that, but you have to get all 5 board supervisors to approve it, correct? So that's gonna be an impossibility right now.
We can't hear you.
It can't happen on private
My
property.
friend has said it's available to me on the phone. He said it's available if you go out there, but you have to get all 5 board supervisors to approve.
That's the impossibility.
I think we just need to focus on trying to talk to Mike Antonovich to waive the fee, the fines and the permits, that is doable. The rest, you can all work out. They're not gonna give you money to clear it, that's not gonna happen, they're not gonna bring you this out, that's not gonna happen. Or it would have already happened. But if we get just to waive the permits and the fees and everything else involved, and just do it, because I don't want this happening in my house.
Can we
I want to
get,
tell you everything in my own hands.
can we have Mr. Antonovich come here and we'll make
There's a perfect example. Here's a perfect example. I have friends that live in Lancaster. There's a perfect example. I have friends that live in Lancaster. I have friends that live in Palmdale and Port Seal. This last flooding that happened, their streets got flooded too. The city was out there the next 2 days cleaning all the streets, cleaned it all up. No fines, nothing got waived, nothing. There was nothing. They came out, they cleaned it like that. Why can't we get that? We're counting Palmdale, Lancaster, putting our town here is Lancaster, Palmdale side. Why the hell are they coming out here to clean our streets?
Unfortunately is, our road maintenance, they go out there and clear the road. I mean, we had a lot of the roads closed and they worked overtime because it's public streets and we could use.
Okay, so we're not public? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's public streets.
Well, it's not on the right of way. I have 100 foot of right of way for road maintenance from the center line. So you got 50 feet on either side. The flood channel that we're all talking about, this future
Way past that.
easement, whatever you wanna call it, is beyond our right of way.
50 feet from the yellow line over, right?
has 15 feet.
50 feet from the yellow line over, right? 50 feet from the. So you tell me those K-rails aren't 50 feet from the yellow line on that side? That whole road that's blocked off, that ain't 50 feet?
I have to go back and look. The rule of thumb is 50 feet. I have road code books, so it'll give me what street has what.
Okay, but like I'm saying, the road that's closed over here with all those cinder blocks and stuff, you telling me that that's not 50 feet from the yellow road? We can't get that all back up and get those moved?
Actually, it's been measured. We put those out there as a request from a resident.
One person? One person, so the rest of us get stuck in the neighborhood with one way out?
I have his name and paperwork, but that was actually put there to protect the other side.
So what are you gonna do to open up PA again?
The road that's blocked.
Frontier Circus.
Frontier Circus.
Whichever one's blocked, it doesn't allow people in or out.
That drainage course needs to be cleaned. The
Unfortunately,
water will flow, and we'll remove the K-ring.
Can we survey this?
You guys keep them out there.
She has a question, she better hand out her up.
Per homeowner, if you waive the permits and the fees and all of that, how much are you talking about? Just an estimation, are you talking about what it take per homeowner on PA to clean up that ditch? Just to, geez, anybody know, like around about $1,000, $2,000, $20,000?
I'm more than that for sure.
$65,000.
I believe you estimated in the August meeting that would cost you $365,000 to clean that and clear it up. So if that cost divided by every resident that lives on that path, that's a huge chunk of change still. That they can't shoulder and they can't possibly make happen. And if you stated also that unless every resident was in compliance, you still could not do anything about the road. So,
The foreclosed homes will never get.
you weren't at that meeting, I don't believe.
Well, that's correct, because there is only a certain number of people clean the area, then you'll fill back with the same thing where it's just gonna keep plugging and it's gonna build itself and we're back to square one again. So we need the whole.
Well, that doesn't address the cost that you asked and the cost I told you estimated.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know how much it will cost. I mean, as far as our roads, they do, yes, they estimated $65,000. So it's hardly a area.
Hmm?
So in other words, 3 miles, it's gonna take the whole block, no one,
All the way
no
up to the
one
school.
whole.
Can I find it?
I mean, you can, but unfortunately, like I said, it's not gonna solve the problem. The only thing I guess would be potentially if something happens, you're not responsible for it, because you cleaned your area, but it will not work if everybody is clean. It's gonna be back to square one. So can you move the K rail so that the water can flow?
The water can't flow until it's clean. Until below that is clean. Once that's cleaned out, the water can flow. And it flows around the corner.
Okay, I've got a question. First question for you. How long will it take for you to get an answer back from our auditor's office for us to know this is happening? Because I mean, time is very sensitive. It's not like we have forever to do this.
Yeah, so
That's the first question.
Yeah, I know it is. Let's say a week.
Okay, so we'll get back to you this week. The next question is, you've got foreclosed and vacant houses there. What happens with those? It's not like we can get their permission to go in there and do that, and you're saying that not everyone's house is done. You guys are using, so.
Just put it in the lot.
So what do we do about that?
Real estate company owns property.
Our neighbor checked on all the properties, none are foreclosed, and they all have private owners. We do have some that are, of course, empty lots, but they're still have private owners. And we're gonna send a letter to everybody, I believe there's like 35 houses actually involved. I'm gonna send my lawyer's gonna send a letter to every single one saying that, this needs to get done. I don't care how everybody feels about it, I feel I have to push to get this done, because I'm at risk. As far as getting the actual channel cleared, if you can get permits, tech base, and all that stuff waived, if you guys just all talk to each other, and get one guy, come in with a backhoe and a dump truck, and clear it once you got all the paperwork to do so, it's not gonna cost very much for that's what they charge.
She's only concerned about herself.
Have you ever please been up on phone?
Yes.
And you see what the issue is up there? Can
Actually,
we get,
you were
can
there
we
before.
do this right now, excuse me?
Quiet down,
Can
please.
we go ahead and get this right now? Can we get a commitment for somebody to come out from the county and tell us what it is we need to do and set up that little plan? All we need is one engineer, right? Why don't we start there and get us to set a plan of what it is we need to do?
I mean, if we need dirt to fill up the top, we can get that dirt that's clogged in the bottom.
They already answered that question in August.
I mean,
I can look into it, I can, take it up to my supervisor and find out what can be done.
And how long will it take to get that answer?
I'll try to get some answers next couple of days.
Okay,
So what do we do here, Will? What do we do?
So you've got,
Right.
you've got both of them, they're gonna go back and talk to their supervisors. They're gonna try to help you the best that they can. What you need to do as your neighbors, as your community on those streets, is you guys either need to do the work, yourself with shovels, or you all need to pitch in together and.
You need to sign up on a volunteer list. Be willing to sign waivers for the
Yeah.
volunteers to come on, and we need to pull the volunteers, but we can't set that up until we
until
know.
we get permission from the
We actually
landowners,
got
property owners.
People that come to our meetings that operate heavy equipment. They have trucks. Will you allow them to help
No.
us do this?
That's what we're gonna look into, that's exactly what we're gonna look into.
I got one last thing. We got a neighbor, our neighbor had their land graded, and it cost $2,000.
And they're the house at the very bottom of P8 right there in 170th. Before they sold the house, it cost $2,000. So that does give you an idea if you had to hire somebody, took the guy the whole day to do it. And then we had our house refinanced, and when you have an FHA loan or a HUD loan or anything like that, They have to make sure, they won't even give you the loan unless your house is so many feet above the floodplain. And I live with the P8s in the backyard, so we pass just fine, so our house is high enough. And so it's when we have the catastrophes that we're trying to avoid, our future catastrophes. So we did give you some of the good ideas, because you guys do have to help us with the.
Several years back, we had a really bad problem on 170th. The backyards of the houses on 170th got nailed by the runoff. The runoff took down their fences. Granted, they shouldn't have been there, but they even took out chain link fences. All the way down the line, all the way, was it Stagecoach or Rod?
Between
Rod. Yeah, that one corner house right there got nailed too. And now we've got people who don't have no idea what happened then, have livestock down there.
That's my concern.
Yeah, they have livestock, and every time I go by there, I cringe because of what's gonna happen, and they don't realize that you're gonna have it coming from down the hill, and you're gonna have it coming from the south, and it's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be,
in the middle of the night, their animals are all
yeah,
dead.
their animals are gonna be dead, they're swept down, all the way down the road, so we've gotta do something now. I don't care whose responsibility it is anymore, it's ours, as a community, to get this cleared out, to help these people to avoid disaster.
The majority of the, well, when I was hearing, they're talking about P8. Our backyard is 170. We're on 169. Our backyard is 170. Our chain link fence that year got hit. Now, it was between my husband and my son-in-law that came and had to clean. Somebody came out, we never got help. We had to literally rebuild. That was, okay, we got a fence up, maybe we shouldn't have had it. But it was because neighbors also had their fences that these were the water that made that happen. What are the guidelines? Are our guidelines different than say somebody on P8? That's all we want to know. What, as far as
It's
the
the
field?
same, if the flood channel needs to be maintained clear to allow the water and whatever silt or debris that's in that water to flow.
How wide is the flood channel? How legally wide is it from where the dirt starts on the street to onto their property? Because I don't think we know. Water has a natural course too.
It varies, it's in that map that I gave you as the example. But it does vary, down along P8 is narrower than along 170th, which is much wider because it picks up more tributary area down 170th. So that is the widest portion.
My question, you want to
No, she raised her hand.
Yes.
You're next. My question along with that is, okay, let's say I clear out my channel because I'm gonna pay for it and do all the work, and the guy next to me didn't, and he gets flooded out, am I liable?
See, that's where, it's a good question. That's where Ms. Young Lady said, it's a global situation. It really does need to be done fairly close in time so that all of it can flow. You can't just do piecemeal.
Then I have people farther down the road that have built fences and driveways and filled it in, and there's no more channel. What are we gonna do with that?
That's along 170th?
No, I'm on 180. But same deal as what you're talking about.
So you're saying your whole community, your whole neighborhood, like say there's,
And let's say they don't want to.
but if there's 10 of you, and there's one of them, all 10 of you write into the county. They're
Maybe
big,
the county will show up and have.
and the county, you guys actually need to show up and go handle that for them. If you have 10 people against this one people telling you, hey, this person's doing this and it's jeopardizing us, then you actually do need to send somebody else out and handle it.
I haven't had a resident I spoke to yet that's not willing to sign waivers so we can come on their property and clean it, not wanting to help. They want their stuff done. The problem is that empty lots we need help with. I don't know who owns those. I can't knock on those doors. They're not there. So we can deal with the neighbors that are there. I've talked to almost every single one. But we can't deal with empty lots. You're gonna have to have the system stuff.
I have the whole list of.
I would rather have it from the county though, but yes. Well, it's their responsibility, but I would love to see your list.
From what you just said, video, so every house has different specs for how far?
Not every house, every area, down Avenue P8 is pretty much the same until you start turning the corner. When 170, it's much wider.
Okay, so we got the specs for the first house, that could just be followed all the way down. And they got the specs for the first one on the corner, that could be followed all the way down, and that's good enough, right?
That would be pretty close, but it would be better to get the whole track map that shows the whole layout.
Do you guys have that?
We have an old track map yet.
Do you have all
Old
the
one,
plans?
we get ready to make a new one.
No, well, no, it's only done at the time of recording the subdivision.
Are you guys able to update it so that we know that, because if we put all this effort into like you, and this just doesn't match, they can still have the flooding. Do you guys have someone, a surveyor or engineer in your office, that can update that to make sure it's accurate and
Well,
provide
that's what
continuity?
he asked, and I wanna check into that and hopefully get an answer from him.
But the residents seem to be all willing to help each other out. We may, how much payment funds they need to give to the county if the K-rail needs to be moved to get them the equipment in there? Or, you know, how much time do they need to give you? Because obviously it's time sensitive. They need to give you a week notice, okay, we're ready, you got everything go, so that they can start their process once they get the permits and the bond situation. What's the next step after that? Okay, so once the residents are ready, they're saying it's a week for the road maintenance crew to come out and move so that the residents can plan, because a lot of people want to volunteer and help, but they just need to know how much time, you know, so if they get a date, then you just need a week to come in and move it.
Right.
Okay.
Within a week I can have them moved, however, they're gonna stay staged, because if there's a
Oh,
chance of
that's-
rain.
That's what the question is, to give them the opportunity to be able to get the equipment that they need to do their job, that they need to fix. So you need a week's notice, and you want the whole street, or does it go by property? How would they go about doing that?
Well, I mean, obviously, we would like it for the whole street.
Okay, so you want a date that we're
We're ready
ready
to
to go, we're ready to roll, we have our permits, we have everything's all set. We give you a date, and then we give you notice a week before, and you can come out with all the equipment you need to move the K-rail, so that all volunteers can come in and do what they need to do. Okay, that's good,
An
that's good.
expectation that it's gonna get done in a timely manner, because if for some reason I have to put it all back because of a hiccup.
We're organizing solid days with solid crews and equipment to come in on and get this done. So it'll be on weekends more than likely, because a lot of us have to work. But they will be organized teams to come in. First, we gotta do weeding, we gotta get the weeding out of there, we gotta burn that, we gotta get the trash out of there, we gotta get dumpsters there, and somehow get it paid for. So, I mean, there's a lot of work to get done, but we can't start on any of it till we have to go ahead.
One thing I need to caution, I don't know if it applies to you guys, but somebody, maybe the town council, might wanna check with, the Hudson Regional Water Quality Board if you need a permit from them. Because it's a natural drainage course, I mean, I know, if the county is.
Hold on.
Then we do not.
She
No.
just say
That would
that
be
people are gonna
outside.
get fined if we don't fix it, but if we fix it, we may have to pay another fine on top of their,
We're required to follow.
we're gonna have to get, what, a permit to do the work and then a permit to change the water course to put it back?
I remember they used to clear it, and they would write, and they'd say, if you don't clear it, we're gonna clear it and charge you. So we'd see them clear it, like I said, our families have owned the property since '79. So they did used to clear it in the past, and then they would just charge people, so they got it all done in one day.
Would they clear weeds or what did they clear?
What they did was they brought in the tractor, the backhoe, and they just went down the middle and graded it like that, they were done, and then they went down the next section.
And what do you do on the side of the road with the water truck? Can you explain that water place again and how that works? Because
Well,
that sounds like it's a whole separate department.
It-
We have to
it
pay
is-
more doing it, and I don't think that's
It's a different
acceptable.
agency, and like you said, if
It's not a county agency?
it's not a county agency, it's a totally
Private
separate, it's
agency?
basically environmental. The problem is, I'm just bringing it up because I don't know what the requirement is for residents, but if it's county, the La Junta Regional Water Company.
Did they come out when the flood,
No,
Burbank
see-
broke, and did they come out?
I'm sorry, what I'm just saying is, if it's, let's say